Hello everybody, welcome to another Deceptions of the Ages News Encounters USA special report. As you can see, I'm wearing my I Love Weed California shirt because right now Weed California and the rest of the northern half of the state and Los Angeles are getting smoked. The question is, and it's not in a good way, believe me, but the question is, are they getting smoked by PG&E, by the Rothschilds, or by some kind of UFOs? The truth coming up next on Deceptions of the Ages News and Encounters USA. All right, you guys, I want to show you what I've got here. I am looking at a video that was posted on stopthecrime.net. I hopefully will have Deborah Tavares. She's supposed to call in today. She's at the fires right now, and she's going to call in with an update that I hope to be able to include with this video. But if not, this is pretty crazy stuff, and I'm just going to post this if I don't hear from her today and try to get her on later on. So let's go ahead and take a look at a video here. And this was posted from a video that was posted on Facebook, and the video was the camera footage from the observatory in Nevada. So I suppose this would be across the Sierra Nevadas, across the border. And so what you're looking at here is you are looking at Mr. Kostelak's, right now you're looking at his video editing software, because he's going to do a couple of things that are really interesting with this footage. So he's just going to take us through some of this stuff, and he's going to point out some rather bizarre things. So let's just go ahead and watch as he goes through the footage. Now, what you're looking at here and what he's explaining is that this light you're looking at, this is an electric light. It's like a street light. It's a very bright light. And all the lights you see around are electric lights. Now, in the sky, you are going to see aircraft that you can see from the speed of the aircraft that obviously that this footage has been sped up. But the focal point here is we just want to look at that bright light, and what he's pointing out now is that there are some cars, and he's pointing out the other electric lights, etc., etc. But now, as you can see, he's focusing back on this light. Now, this is an electric light. It's not a fire, it's an electric light. So just watch as we see what happens. On the left, just below it, there is a car approaching, and what he's doing is he's basically, reversing the footage. Now, what he's pointing out here is the aircraft, and the speed at which the aircraft are traveling in the footage. So you can see everything is fairly speeded up. It is not at normal speed, so he just wants to point that out because the camera that's taking this is obviously like a time lapse. Maybe it's taking a shot every 3 seconds or something, but that's going to be important as we continue to watch. And it's gone. Now, the light has just gone out, and now it's back again. But it has just gone out. The reason it's back is because he reversed the footage. But it's gone, just like that. This light is out, but all the other electric lights in the area are still on. Now, notice that there is a light that immediately starts up, right? Now, it's a very small light, and this is what we assume is going to be the fire. Now, look right here to the left. I'm sure Mr. Kostelak is going to point this out with his cursor as well. But you can see that there is an object approaching from the left. It is in the sky, And this is going to take a few minutes because he kind of draws this out a little bit to make sure you understand what you're looking at. But this light is going through and it is approaching this area where this fire has suddenly broke out. Now this is going to take a few minutes, so just be patient with this because this is very important to see what happens with this fire as this plane, and I'm not going to say it's a plane, it's actually a UFO. Nobody really knows what it is. It's not a plane because it's the, Mr. Kostelak points out, it's huge. It's a huge object in the sky, way bigger than any known aircraft of ours. So here comes the object. It's coming closer, coming closer. Notice how it's going in and out. Maybe it's not syncing with the camera, but right now as it's overhead, watch this, bam! Just like that, there is a huge explosion as that thing gets directly overhead. Now remember that as we go into more of this footage. So what I'm going to do now is, because he's going to take this back and show this over again, but I just want you to remember that when this airplane, or I keep saying airplane, when this object flies overhead, that thing basically, that small flame basically erupted. Now what would do that? The first thing that we need to look at is if that is a conventional aircraft. Mr. Kostelak doesn't know this, but a conventional aircraft like an F-15 or a bomber, they actually drop their bomb a mile or so from the target and let the momentum and the kinetic energy involved with the airplane just drop that thing and guide it onto the target. So that could very well be why this thing gets right over the object and then it explodes, because that bomb was released a long time ago, maybe a few 10 seconds, and then bam, it's down on the object as the plane is overhead. But aircraft don't normally fly into their own destruction path. Normally what they do is they drop the bomb and then they peel off so they can get footage of it from their underneath carriage cameras. So whatever this thing did, it flew right over the target, and when it was over the target, as you can see here, this thing just erupts. Now, what Mr. Kostelak is showing you here is the thermal, it's a thermal program or something, but as you can see, when that thing came over, there was no smoke originally, but once that thing did its thing, then it started to smoke. All right, so that is the first part of this, and I'm going to just scoot ahead a little bit because here's your smoke and here's all of your stuff, but what I want you to see, and there's Mr. Kostelak there, is he's also got some software where he shows the trajectory of two comets. Two comets are getting ready to cross paths with each other, and where do you think they cross paths? I'll let you think for a second before you make your guess. And bam, right there, right over where the fire started. So in other words, what happened was you had two space objects that were lined up, and then something below them. Was it our object? Was it our craft? Or was it a UFO? But for some reason, when those things crossed each other in their path, this explosion happened on the ground. So you can think or say whatever you want, but that happened. So the question is, why and how did it happen? Is that one of our craft, and was it directing this cosmic energy, the whatever energy is involved with these comets? Was it being directed? Was this a coincidence? Was this a UFO? Now, Mr. Kostelak points out in his video that this aircraft is huge. It's much bigger than any airplane. So whatever this thing is, it appeared at the same time that there was There was an explosion on the ground that started these Sonoma fires. This is not a conventional aircraft, and the people who were filming this at the observatory, they were zooming in and out, watching this aircraft, trying to find out what it was. So, or at least trying to get it on camera. So what is this thing? How did it start this fire? And what does it have to do with these two comets crossing paths? These are things that we have to find out. So hopefully within the next few hours, we're going to hear from Deborah Tavares, and we're going to get some more information about what's going on up there at that site. Well, that was certainly amazing. So you, my friends, you better be careful if you're in the northern part of the state. It is coming down, and it is coming down fast. If you don't know what's happening, read my book, Deceptions of the Ages or The Rainier Paradigm. They're both going to tell you exactly what is happening and with this forced migration into Washington state. Who's doing it and what's going on. And let me tell you, it's really frightening. So for Encounters USA and Deceptions of the Ages News, watch your back, and we'll see you next time.